All right. Thank you all for being here and for participating in this debut edition of the event. Glad to have you all here. So, for those who are wondering how Classic Tetris Quickly works, since first time we're going to show it in its official format here, I'll go through the very simple rules here. So, for players, if you haven't already, I'll need you to clear your scoreboards, as I will need those freshened out. But how this will work is our four players will have 30 minutes to a qual of sorts. They'll try and get the best score that they can within that 30-minute span. Based on the top scores that our players get, the highest score will face the lowest score, and the middle two scores will face off against each other. From there, it's the standard best of 5 Tetris match that you know and love. Winner of each match plays each other in a final. The loser of each match plays each other in a third place match, should they wish. Which I figure might as well. Want to get your 2 matches in anyway, get your money's worth. And in an ideal world, this whole thing gets done within 2 hours. So there you go. There's the rules. There's the format. Everyone understand here? Any questions? We all good? Hopefully my mic is working. I am running a different version of OBS so I can handle the fancy scenes here that Mazer's provided me. This is an invitational Sisal Kenzie. At least for this first one. I'd like to open this up to more people to try out here, but we wanted to get a special crew to show off the format here early on. And I would argue this is a pretty special quartet of players here. But if everybody understands the rules, we'll understand the game, then let's play it. And if you don't understand, don't worry. You'll learn quickly enough. But so when we have 4 readies on the screen here, we'll begin our 30-minute qual session. And for our players, you do not need to be in qual mode for this. At least I don't think so. Check in with the rest of the chat here. But hello to everyone joining in. No call mode needed. Thank you for the confirmation here, Mazer. Alright, we've got readies from Anpu, AOIFE, and Tyler. Just waiting on the readiness of TSTORM here, who I already know was pretty warmed up as is, because while I was setting up to get everything running, I saw TSTORM playing Tetris on his stream. Which threw me off, because at first I was like, oh no, is the stencil broken? Like, oh no, never mind. It's because TSTORM was playing a very unconventional Tetris. Alright. W warm-up strategy, yes. Alright, so again, the players will have 30 minutes here to get the best score they can. The timer you see on the bottom right of the screen is not functional, so I'm just going to tell you, whatever your time zone is right now, you'll have until 44 minutes past the hour, so 23:44 UTC is what you're playing to. That way you also don't have to worry about any stream delays here. But yes, 30 minutes to get the best score possible. Highest score will face the lowest score, middle 2 scores will face each other, etc. Everyone good? Alright. Then, actually, we'll call it 45 minutes past the hour, just to make it a round number here. But I'm going to count everyone down here. Best of luck to our players here. Let's see who will become the first quick champion here. CTQ champ. Alright. Counting down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So again, you have until 23:45 UTC. That's what we're going to call it here. Technically a little over 30 minutes, but... Alright. So here we go. We are off and away here. assume that nothing too chaotic is going to happen here early on, so players go through the opening motions here. We'll give a little bit of info about the players here. So on the top left of the screen, TSTORM, your bronze bracket champion from CTWC this past year. He's got a overall PB of 1,371,000 points. Does also have a 1.3 off of a 19 start. And he is an American hyper tapper. Might also know him for some of his lovely coaching sessions that he gives. Very knowledgeable Tetris player. We'll put that knowledge to the test tonight. On your top right is the one and only Tetris, your silver champion from CTWC. He's got a PB of 1,560,000 points. Also has a 1.3 off the 19 start. And he is an American roller here. You might also know Tyler for some various CTL-related rap stuff and other assorted memes. But certainly a hardy person and a hardy personality. On your bottom left here, we have Anpu. Anpu, who was not top 4 amongst silver or bronze of the CTWC, but was a high-level player here, so also a very knowledgeable person. You might know him from that guy who helps keep our database intact so we can keep track of all of the glorious events that go on in the comp Tetris history, including this one, I suppose, although it's technically a friendly here. No ELO involved for our players, per their requests. But Anpu's got a PB of 1,211,000 points, has a 1.1 off the 19 start as well, and Anpu is a DAS player from Canada, so we got all of the different playstyles represented here. You think Anpu's a cool person? Look and see. Well, that's good. You're a cool person too. And then last but not least, we have AOIFE, who was a top 4 in the silver bracket for CTWC this past year. AOIFE comes in with a PB of 1,284,000 points. Also has a 1.2 off the 19 start. And AOIFE is an American roller here. So we have 2 rollers, a tapper, and a DAS player. Oh yes, and you might also know AOIFE from being a pretty long-time CTWC player. I believe played back in the CTWC 2021 main bracket. So, all of our players here coming in with a good bit of experience. All of them coming with at least 1.2s in their careers. And so they've achieved quite a bit. Only one will get to have the trophy of being the debut Classic Tetris Quickly champion. And with that said, let's see how the games are going here so far. Looks like Anpu has gotten a couple resets here, so it doesn't have anything on the scoreboard, so still early on trying to find a score here. Either 3 players all deep into 18 runs here. AOIFE currently at 418k here off 100 lines, so pretty good pace. Looks to be poised for about a mid 500k transition. Tyler at 516,000 at 109 lines, so definitely in the realm of 600 plus into 19 here. And then TSTORM with 468 on 91 lines, so also potentially in the realm of a 600 plus transition into 19. And now Anpu is starting to run a nice DAS pace here with 194k off 46 lines, so all of our players finding various pacings here, although Tyler also found a bit of a messy board. So hopefully we'll get a chance to salvage this and play this out for at least something of a score. It'll be hard to say what will be needed within the 30-minute span here to be top billing or top seeding, as perhaps this qual portion puts really to the test what can you do on the spot here when you have to come into clutch, because 30 minutes is really a brief time if you think about it. In the grand scheme of things, the way these players play, they can probably get 3, maybe 4 good games in, but it takes a long time to go from the speeds of 18 all the way out to 29. Kenzie asking, is the tournament quick? Mace responding, start to finish within 2 hours. I call that quick, yeah. I don't know what the fastest regional to ever play out is, but I'd bet that's probably somewhere in the range of 6 hours, so this is a third of that. Right, all of our players off and away into, or 3 of our 4 players off and away into the 19 speeds here, but Anpu building up a good pace for when he does arrive at the 19 speed as well. In the real time here, leading the pack is the 731 on TSTORM's end, even though he's on a lower line count than Tyler and AOIFE. So TSTORM trying to outpace his competitors to take the early bid for the top seed early on, it looks like. But everyone finding their ways to build through on the 19 speeds. And TSTORM actually gotten caught a bit high up on the board here. Good pace will only get so far here. Have to see it through by surviving as far through 19 as possible. And maybe even a little bit of 29. TSTORM does have a limited 29 start PB, so might be able to maybe get through a level if the opportunity's there. Right now it's a 785 for TSTORM on level 23, 882 for Tyler on level 26, 788 for AOIFE on level 26, and Anpu with a 504, still yet to get into 19 speeds, so Anpu poised to get a good transition here. See how this plays out here. So again, no telling what score will be needed to claim the top seed. Also might go into a bit of the mentality of who do you even want to play here amongst these 4? Who's the good matchup? Who's the tough matchup? In my mind, they're all tough matchups. But I would argue, if anything else, it's maybe a bit of a confidence booster if you can say that you had the best 30-minute Tetris stretch here, then maybe that'll bode well for having the best comp when all is said and done. Alright, Tyler goes into the 29 speeds. He's got 980 on the board right now. AOIFE also into the 29 speeds with 918, but TSTORM is holding on to a max right now, and he's only on level 27. Tyler ends up topping out at 983, so that's his initial score here. Still have about 21 minutes left on the clock here, so that'll be plenty of time to improve upon that, but also not a whole lot of time. It's almost like a paradox of sorts. You have a lot of time, but you don't have a lot of time. Kenzie said, I love when TSTORM said it's storming time, and he stormed all around the place. Gosh darn it, Kenzie. Hello, Penguin Panic. Yes, it is the block game. Also, how did you find me all the way out over here? TSTORM does finally make it into 29 here, and he's going to end out at a C28 on what is essentially his first true game of the comp. And AOIFE ended up closing out at a 949 on her game, so stands right now 1.22 is the target to beat to get the 1 seed. So thanks for setting the bar early here, TSTORM. Oh my goodness. But Tyler currently running the second spot here with the 983. AOIFE running the third spot with the 949. Then we get into Anpu, who's currently at a 733 on level 24. Let's see. He did not get to run the 19 stretch at the same time as our other players, and so to that extent, we'll get a little bit of the insight of knowing that if he can get to the mid 900k or even the max out, that might push him to, well, if anything else, avoiding the collision course with TSTORM. And TSTORM putting in chat, I ain't beaten that 1.2. So he's just going to rest for the moment here and take advantage of his strong game early on. Which, hey, I can respect. I mean, 1.2 is going to be hard to beat in a 30-minute span. One does not casually just get a 1.2 on the spot. Or maybe one does. We'll see if any of our other three players are able to match that level, but right now, focus on Anpu here, who is holding an 845 on level 27, so again, a 950 will push Anpu ahead of AOIFE's score, and a 984 will push Anpu ahead of Tyler's score. We'll see if he gets the right pieces. He's got room for 2 Tetrises here, gets one of them. If he gets the other, he can at least pass AOIFE, but likely will not pass Tyler unless he's somehow able to set up for 2 here. But I don't think that's going to happen. But now Anpu holding out for the bar. Does get that last bar. So Anpu gets a 960 on the board here. That puts him at the number 3 spot. And so maybe now the race for the moment is between Tyler, Anpu, and AOIFE to try and avoid having the lowest score here. So we'll see if any of the 3 of them can, at the very least, get a max out here, if not push things further. Indeed, very, very good mastery of Das there from Anpu. Such a good mastery that you almost forget that Anpu is a Das player here going up against 2 rollers and a tapper. But that does not deter him here, as all of the playstyles are good and valid playstyles, regardless of how you feel about them. And all of our folks playing here are certainly experts in those playstyles. Anpu's the most underrated Das player, IMO? That depends. I don't know how the Das players get rated to begin with. I've certainly got my opinions, but I'll keep those to myself. I'm biased anyway. Everyone's biased to an extent, I think. But Anpu certainly deserves credit. I've seen him put up some good fights his time in the CTL here. All of these players have put up good fights at one time or another. Now they're trying to put up a good fight here. Alright. Oh, playing through the stretch. Gonna grab some casual background music here. Don't mind me. Alright, on the current stretch here, Tyler and AOIFE off and pacing on a game that they both seem to feel comfortable about. So we'll keep an eye on their 18 stretch to see if they can push it through with something with the potential to go after that max out here. TSTORM's still enjoying his break here as he rests easy for the time being. Yeah, so I hope that everyone is doing well here on this fine Thursday. We've almost reached the end of another lovely week here One with plenty of action going across the Tetris scene. Tyler getting high up on the board in his game here. He's still early into the 18 stretch, so wouldn't be the end of the world if he's not able to get out of this, but certainly not helping here since, oh my goodness. Tyler showing just the full power of rolling here as he survives. I don't even know how many lines up that was. Too many lines up, but he makes it work anyway. He's currently got a 373 here at 100 lines. So not the craziest of paces in the world, but hey. All it takes is the 19 stretch of your life here. You can turn even an average everyday transition into a max out. AOIFE running a pretty respectable pace here. Currently at 476 with about 10 lines until transition. And Anpu doing his best to try and get on another DAS pace here with 215 at about 50 lines. But yeah, so if you're new to here, which is completely understandable, as I'm not sure if when the last time, if at all, stuff happened on this Twitch channel. Yeah, this is the Classic Tetris Network, founded by Mr. Sir Mazer. All part of Mazer's initiative that you might have heard about back on episode 49, it was, of the Peace Dependency podcast. So Mazer's trying to expand the scope of Tetris coverage here. And also diversifying the ways to interact and bring the community together to enjoy the block stacking game that we all love. Oh, this is the official first stream. Well, there you go. So yeah, for those wondering what'll be happening on the CTN channel in the future, mainly this type of event that you're seeing. If you have other ideas for things you want to see Classic Tetris Network do, feel free to lend your 2 cents. I'm sure Mazer's always open to ideas. Like many of our other Tetris communities, we're here to serve and benefit you. Nice 19 dig here going by AOIFE. AOIFE currently running a 662 here on the 19 speeds. Level 24 to be exact, so this would have to be a game with some 29 potential, it's looking like, in order for her to surpass her current 949. Well, Tyler was not able to get anything off that last game, so he's off and away on a new game. Likewise, Anpu in the early stretches of a new game as well. So we'll see what AOIFE can do here on the late stretches of 19, and what 29 play she'll be able to show off here. Masterful dig, indeed. Indeed, you can certainly learn a thing or two from watching these 4 players when it comes to stacking and pacing knowledge. TSTORM saying looks like the timer stopped. Oh no, that's not a live timer, TSTORM. That's just denoting when the end of the 30-minute stretch is in UTC. So, which reminds me, so right around 10.5 minutes left for our players to improve on their current scores. So again, quarter of the hour is when the call timer will be done here. Obviously, if you're in the middle of a game, you'll be able to finish that game out. Alright, TSTORM back and playing out another game here. So, with just under 10 minutes left to go here, the early score is all still remaining intact here. So at the moment, TSTORM, the runaway 1 seed here. 2 seed would currently be Tyler, who would have to play the 3 seed Anpu. And TSTORM would be poised to play the 4 seed AOIFE here. But of course, the seeding, if anything, more symbolic, or more for the matchups, if anything, as it's no indication of who might be the most skilled here, who can best one another. And perhaps very telling here that our 2, 3, and 4 seeds are all within 40,000 points of each other, so many different ways that the semis grouping can play out here. Yeah, so we'll see how things play out here during this remainder of the stretch. As it is, our players will have time for 1, maybe 2 good games. So I think it's really just about finding a game that they feel like they can comfortably work to a max out pace. And looks like Tyler's going to be the next to make that attempt here. He's about to pass a 500k here, right before he transitions into 19 speeds. Anpu also running a decent pace here early on his last game. AOIFE now resorting to the 19 start strats here. She's hoping that might unlock something to get the scoring going for her. As you're noting, Tyler and Anpu have been going at it in the group DMs. They have a score to settle. Well, we'll see. Anpu claiming cyberbullying. Well, as it stands, it would be a run-in between Tyler and Anpu if things hold, but we'll see. AOIFE perhaps having the most influence over the semis picture. For if Tyler improves upon his score, he's in all likelihood just pushing himself further into the 2 seed unless he can somehow chase down that 1.2 by TSTORM. If Anpu improves his score, he could surpass Tyler here into the 2 seed, but that would not change the matchup. But AOIFE as the 4 seed here, and being just 2 Tetrises off the 2 seed, could certainly vary things up here. Alright. For the moment, Tyler is trying to improve upon his number 2 spot here. He's got a 758 on level 25, and now finding himself in a high 19 dig. Note to our players here, we are right around 5 minutes left on the proverbial qual timer. I'll try and be vigilant on the timing as is. But again, once we reach 45 minutes past the hour of whatever time zone your hour may be, once we reach 45 minutes past, that'll be the conclusion of the timer. Penguin Panic saying, we need a qual format where you can not only improve your score, but also lose a good score you already got. I'm not sure how that would work, Penguin. To be fair, I think this format of just getting the best score you possibly can in 30 minutes is reasonable. I think it just ended up being maybe, well, barring last second surprise, it ended up being a bit anticlimactic as TSTORM sort of just absolutely blew everything away here within the first 10 minutes, which, hey, credit where credit is due. Alright. All of our scores still remain intact here. Our players all looking for a good pace to take as their last game, it seems. As we're at 3.5 minutes, just about, on the qual timer. Right now, Anpu is pushing a good pace on his game here. TSTORM also pushing a good pace for what it's worth, and would perhaps be amusing if TSTORM managed to outdo everyone else's top scores, not once, but twice within the 30-minute span. That would certainly be a form of intimidation, one might say. Although I don't know what it takes to intimidate these players. Maybe nothing will intimidate them. Or maybe they're already intimidated. Who knows? I just want drama and memes, says Penguin. I think you'll get at least one of those two things here. But I can't make any guarantees. We really are pioneering into new territory here. To that extent, I'm just grateful that we have such an all-star lineup to walk into this new event, this new age of Comp Tetris. Anpu went for a line spin. Ended up missing out on it. He's currently got a 522 though, with still about 20 lines to go until transition, so this is the makings to be a good qual here for Anpu, as he might try and one-up Tyler's qual score before time is out, and time is getting close to being out. We have, at the time I'm reading this, 75 seconds. So I suppose this is the notice to the players here that if you're on a good game, keep playing your good game out. But if you're not sure if you like your current game, this is probably going to be one of your last chances to sub it out for a fresh start. But right now it looks like everyone on a game they can be happy with, although Tyler was getting a bit high up on the board there. Looks like he's going to be able to bring his board down. Anpu is now on the 19 stretches here. He's got 636 on level 20, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll also keep an eye on TSTORM's 808 on level 23. TSTORM trying to show off his consistency here. Or at least a suggestion of consistency. We'll see if he lives up to it on the comp phase. AOIFE currently with 447 on 89 lines, so she's got a tremendous pace as well here. And Tyler does decide to restart one more time here, and the timer has now officially run out. So, as a note to our players here, whatever game you're on, this will be your last game, so please play it out. And looks like the first that's going to end up reaching that finish line will be TSTORM, as he's on level 27 here, currently with an A36. So far amongst our cast of 4 players, we've seen 2 max outs within the span, and they have both been by the same person. TSTORM's board is breaking down, though. I don't know if he's going to even get to 29 here. Doesn't look like it, but A73 is going to be where TSTORM finishes out. No, Anpu, unfortunately, blocks off the well and is not able to reopen it, so Anpu ends up going down at 838. So TSTORM's 1,228,000 points is locked in currently. Anpu's 960,000 points is locked in. And so that just leaves us with 2 scenarios here. One is AOIFE, who can still try and surpass all of our players here. And the other is Tyler, who can try and either defend his spot from AOIFE, depending on what her score ends up being, or try and do the unthinkable and go after TSTORM's 1.2. Anpu saying, I apologize. Don't apologize, Anpu. You had some good paces. TSTORM saying, I got nothing left. Yeah, that was just a bit of an awkward board that ended up being for you, TSTORM, but hey. You did what you needed to. Or have you? We'll find out. AOIFE now with a 657 on level 20, so now it's her turn to prove that she can come in clutch. And Tyler will still have a ways to go here, as he's only halfway to transition here, but does have 350,000 points at 70 lines, so that would be the pacing of roughly a 650k if he keeps it going. Or I should say a 650k transition. Oh, even getting caught up on the board. Okay, wow. Does get the well reopened. Very much needing another bar. Oh no, AOIFE! Not able to get a bar over. And so she ends up being done at 726. So that means AOIFE's high score of 949 is locked in. And that means it's just down to Tyler here. So unless Tyler can pull off over 1.2 million points on the spot here, the placements are going to be locked in. Hello to Evesy, who says, is this an invitational? It is an invitational. The first of many, we hope. So, you know, for those in the audience thinking, hey, this looks fun, I want to do this, and try and kick 3 other people's butts. If you can find 3 people whose butts you want to kick, at a time where you all can face each other, this is by no means going to be a one-off, folks, so look for competitors. And personally, I'd love to have competitors from the high and low. I asked recently in the Tetris for the non-pros server, or the TNP server, what types of events people would be interested over there, and I did get a large interest in the Flash tourney concept, which, if you couldn't guess, this is what I was alluding to with it. So even if you're just a sub-max outer, thinking to yourself, I can't play at a massive level, as long as you can find people who can play at a similar level to you, I've always been in the mindset that any comp is good comp. So I don't know how future iterations will go, but like the first one is. Yep. Alright, Tyler does end up topping out here. He gets 558, so that is going to lock our positions here. So let's... Whoops, my bad. Forgot I didn't include a mic on this OBS scene. Lol. Alright. Yes, seedings ended up being in order 1 TSTORM, 2 Tyler, 3 Anpu, 4 AOIFE. So TSTORM will get to play AOIFE, Anpu will get to play Tyler. Now, and at this point, it's just the standard best of 5 match here. Obviously, we'll run these both at the same time here, and winners of the top and bottom match will face each other, and then losers of the top and bottom match will play each other too, since gotta have a third place match, if you ask me. Alright, so I'm assuming everyone is good with SPS across the 4 Tetris boards here. If it's all the same with the folks here, I'm going to generate 2 different seeds here, just so we don't run into some future sight across different matches. So the first seed I'm going to generate is just for TSTORM and AOIFE, and the second seed will be for Anpu and Tyler. So for TSTORM and AOIFE, you two will have the seed beginning in 5D. For Anpu and Tyler, you two will have the seed beginning in F5. Again, I'm just doing that just on the off chance that one of the matches ends up getting ahead of the other one. Can I disable level 39 cap? Just in case I get a DAS level 41. Okay, Pixel Andy. God, alright. We do have 4 readies across the board here, so to get things moving along. So good luck to our players here in the semifinals. Look at that. We've already made it to the semifinals. What a fun tournament here. Already breaking the rules, SMH. Alright, but yeah. I also can't see the seeds from my end, so I'm assuming everyone entered their seeds incorrectly. Again, for TSTORM and AOIFE, the 5D CE27 is your seed. For Anpu and Tyler, the F5 D534 is your seed. I actually gave myself extra bars during my call, you just didn't notice. And you still ended up with a lower qual score than Tyler? Come on, Anpu. Come on. Alright, best of luck to our players here. Let's count it down for game number 1. For everybody, starting off in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Alright, SPS confirmed along the bottom, SPS confirmed along the top. Alright, we're good. So here we go. It is not for Elo, so the Elo Master is going to cheat. Oh my goodness. Alright, so for those watching along at home, feel free to place your metaphorical bets, since I don't feel like running a poll, but see who you think's going to win out our matchups here. Who you got for the finals? I've got my personal predictions, but again, as a commentator, I have to be unbiased, so I'm not saying what I'm thinking here. Alright, but everyone off and away here. Oh, Tyler running into a little bit of an awkward board early on. Had a Spire forming in the middle of his stack, but is managing to put pieces around it to try and remedy this. Does have to create a bar dependency on column 2, and so Tyler does run into some early trouble here. Oh no, the Spire is not looking great here, but I think Tyler's going to be able to find a way out. This Aoife now also running into problems on her game here. So this could prove to be a chaotic stretch here. But it looks like both Aoife and Tyler are going to survive their boards for the time being. Early scores here is 169,000 points from TSTORM up top. And yes, there's a Hey Now for Omen, even on this channel. 115,000 for Aoife. And then 193 for Anpu, and 94,000 from Tyler, who ends up topping out. Oh no. So Anpu, you are good on the first game here against Tyler. Obviously for TSTORM and Aoife, they continue to go strong here, although maybe not, as Aoife is not able to get a bar to the left. She's got to find something else to get over. It's just giving S's and Z's and squares. None of that can go into the left. And Aoife ends up topping out at 120,000, so TSTORM, you're also good for game 1. Tyler boards make me feel warm and fuzzy inside. I should not have read that sentence, Penguin. Wait. Tyler saying deck is distracting me. Oh, God. 11 L's, 41 S's. Are you kidding? Was it at... Okay, yeah, no, he wasn't kidding. 11 L's, 41 S's. That is... gotta be... I don't even know what the bottom seeds RNG was, because I wasn't looking, but... yeah, that's a... Well, only the most cursed of seeds for the math was reached... Oh, wait, this isn't my channel. This is Classic Tetris Network. Alright, I got no defense for this, then. But what I do have is a heart. And also... a heart. There you go. So, TSTORM up 1-0, Anpu up 1-0. We'll see if Game 2 provides more reasonable RNG for our players to make a deep run through. The power of CTQuickly, yes. Yes, so on yours it'll be an increment to 6E. Correct, Aoife. Alright, we got 4 readies. Let's do a 4 countdown. Here we go. Game number 2 in 4. 3, 2, 1. Tetris. But yeah, so this type of 4-way clash here does make you think of what other combinations could we find of players to throw all into an arena. Again, I think any group of 4 players of relatively equal skill levels is going to be entertaining, but if you can dream big, I think it'd be interesting to see the top 4s from, say, a given country face off against each other. Maybe trying to play for the bragging rights within that country. Or you could even do the top 4 players, say, or 4 of the top players from the DAS championships, the DAS World Cup. Have some DAS bragging rights. That could be an interesting showdown. But so many different ways you could go about this. Even if you're just going on the quote-unquote smaller scale tournaments, like say for a given CTM Futures bracket, you get the top 4 seeds to face off in an exhibition thing. Or for a CTL tier, you get 4 of the top finishers to face off. I think there's so many different ways you could go about this. There's so many different combinations. But at the end of the day, the goal, above all else, is to have fun. And looks like the players are enjoying themselves as they are running into what I think is less cursed RNG than the last game. Or maybe it's still rough RNG, but they're just making it look like good RNG. So as I always say, folks, good players can play on good seeds, great players can play on any seed. We'll give some score updates here on the top matchup. TSTORM currently of 257 at the moment, AOIFE at 215,000. On the bottom matchup, it's 145 for Anpu, 242 for Tyler. So TSTORM running a small lead here on the top match, but Tyler running a pretty strong lead on that bottom match. We'll see if this continues to hold up. 3-2s wants to see a battle between Knight, Eyeball, Wallband, and Silly Shark. Oh dear God. That would be a potent combo, 3s. That would certainly be a potent combo. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you could go about it, 3s. If I had to give like a dream matchup, or there's a lot of different dreams I could have in this. I think one interesting matchup would be like a Legends group. So you have, say, Sharky, Corion, Green Tea, and Batfoy, or Matt Martin is the 4th. Get some of the old guard to face off. I would have thrown Harry Hong in there, but I don't think we'll ever get Harry Hong back to comp. I am glad to see he still streams every once in a while, though. Alright, about 2/3 of the way now through the 18 stretch here. And still TSTORM and Tyler running close to 100,000 point leads on their games here, so Anpu and AOIFE trying to do their best to keep up, although this time Aspire forming on AOIFE's board, but she is handling it with a very poised demeanor here. But oh my goodness, even 1,000,000 S pieces is enough to unravel the best of stackers here, and AOIFE now having to scramble to find a solution here. Just keeps adding S pieces. Oh dear God. But AOIFE is finding a way to bring this down. She's going to be able to clean this up, so insane survival there. But somehow TSTORM managed to work through that same board, or the same set of RNG, and not have too much of an issue, as it's 544 for TSTORM, 381 for AOIFE. Down below, 453 for Anpu, 536 for Tyler, so Anpu maintaining his distance here. Alex versus 3 rollover players. People would still bet on tap Alex winning their 3s. Oh, God. Okay, Aoife with a high transition here. She's not going to be able to find a way out of this, and Aoife ends up topping out at 428. TSTORM already with a 645 has done enough to claim a second game. Meanwhile, Anpu and Tyler both off and away on their games here. 529 for Anpu, 600k for Tyler. So it will be 2-0 for TSTORM now. TSTORM was not expecting that last-minute drought. I would have to assume Aoife was not expecting the drought either. But looks like Tyler and Anpu managing to handle their sequences more or less. Tyler with a dirty board, but I think he managed to find a Tetris. He just built halfway up, it seemed. Oh no, but now the S-Spire conspiring against Tyler here. But he is still keeping the board on the low side. TSTORM and Aoife are ready for their third game, so I'm going to count those two down so they don't have to wait. So for TSTORM and Aoife, let's count them down in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And oh no, Anpu hangs pieces and can't get out of it. So Anpu's going to end up topping out at 625, which means Tyler, you've done enough here to take the second game on your matchup. And our bottom match now becomes 1-1. Tyler respiring. Thanks, Penguin. Yes, the GGs indeed. You're good, Tyler. You're good. No worries. All right. Tyler and Anpu now ready for their third game, so we will count down again. Starting off in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. As Anpu screams with rage at Tyler's 20-second Mullen. Oh, God knows I've allowed so much longer Mullens. But to be fair, many of the... Oh, yeah, I don't know if Tyler meant to put both of those bars in column 9, but that was certainly a move. Anywho, what was I saying? Alright, many of the longer Mullens I've allowed have been the land of the sub-max outers, where every other game it seems to be PB pace, so you know, you just gotta give them a chance. As someone who got his first max out in comp, sometimes the Mullen is just the way to go. Well, I guess it was technically a comp Mullen, but close enough. Alright, on our top matchup, it's early on 191 from TSTORM, 192 for Aoife. So, very close one here, and what is a must-win game for Aoife. She tries to hold her own here against the bronze bracket champion, and managing to get some very creative center wall Tetrises in the process. Finding the scoring opportunities where she can here. TSTORM doing his best to maintain a stable board here, so top match going strong here. Early on in the bottom match, it's 151 from Anpu, 152 from Tyler, so already tied on the set at 1 game apiece and practically tied on the scores for this game so far. Although Tyler with maybe a little bit of cleanup to do here, although when you're dealing with players of this caliber, sometimes they don't even worry about the cleanup. Sometimes they'll just say, heck with it, I'll just set up here. As someone who also has that mentality, I can certainly respect it. So here we go. Is Another intense battle here. All of our players put up at least 900,000 points during the 30-minute qual session, so we know that they are capable of pulling off something special here on their games. We'll see who gets the opportunity to. Oh my goodness, Anpu with an insane setup there. I'm pretty sure that was a Tetris that he got out of it. And as a reminder to our audience here, Anpu is a DAS player, so being able to have those moments does not come easily. Meanwhile, on the top matchup here, AOIFE getting high up on the board, but is going to be able to bring it back down. Currently 417 for AOIFE, 472 for TSTORM, so TSTORM has built a little bit of a lead here as we are just under 30 lines to transition, or first transition anyway. Oh, nice little T-talk there from AOIFE as well. Now Anpu trying to decide on what stacking antics he'll want to do. He's maybe going the route of the center well, but Tyler has already beaten him to the punchline as Tyler getting a center well Tetris. 299 for Tyler, 279 for Anpu. All four of our players going strong here on their third games. We already know for a guarantee that Anpu and Tyler will have to go to a fourth game. We'll see if the same happens for TSTORM and AOIFE. Alright, AOIFE the first into 19 speeds here. She's got a 541 on the board. TSTORM about to follow into 19, although might have to do so a bit high up here. We'll get a 595 into transition and makes a beautiful double skim here to take care of her stack. But now, still having to do some board balance in here. Ooh, this is an awkward spot here for TSTORM. Can he find a way out of this? Okay. Very nice placements here. TSTORM gets the well reopen, gets the Tetris. 631 for TSTORM, 600,000 flat for AOIFE. Meanwhile, down below, 421 for Anpu, 443 for Tyler. They're both about to enter 19 speeds themselves here, as they didn't start their third game too long after TSTORM and AOIFE did. So here we go. It's about to be the quadruple 19 stretch. So keep your eyes peeled, folks, as chaos can hit any board at any moment here. And it might be hitting Tyler's board before he even has a chance to respond here. Is Tyler having to transition high up on the board? Oh my gosh, trying to get pieces left and right. That's a beautiful split double, but even that might not be enough. Okay, Tyler needs to find something else to the left, getting pieces over, but still having to make very calculated burns here, and I don't know if Tyler can find a way out of this. He's fighting for it. Oh, can't get the flat L over, and Tyler ends up topping out at 478. So Anpu, you need 479. Meanwhile, up top, 778 for TSTORM, 780 for AOIFE. Insanely close between those two. Anpu was trying to go for the Tetris there. Takes the triple to down Tyler. It's 2-1 in favor of Anpu now. Alright, so meanwhile, TSTORM and AOIFE just continuing to try and stack aggressive here as they look for the Tetris opportunities, and they continue to find them. 887 now for AOIFE, 913 for TSTORM. AOIFE is about a level ahead in lines here, so that could end up making a difference here, although AOIFE, as a roller, has a little bit more 29 runway potentially than TSTORM would. So we'll see. This is going to be close, but for the moment, it's just a few thousand points separating these two as they both reach their closing stretch of 19 speeds. We are going to count down Anpu and Tyler. So let's get those two ready for their fourth game. We'll start off in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And don't worry, Anpu, I will remember to give you your heart. There you go. All right, AOIFE's into 29. She's got A38 on the board. TSTORM's got A25 right now. And he is trying to set up for potentially 2 Tetrises. Gets one of them. So A59 for TSTORM. AOIFE just primarily lining out and seeing if she can wait out TSTORM, who does get the other Tetris. So he's got the A98. Oh, can't get the bar over. TSTORM tops out at A98. So if AOIFE can get to A99, she'll stay alive. But this is such a tough board to fight, and AOIFE can only get an A60, which is insane to say, but that last Tetris from TSTORM was enough to seal the deal here and make sure that he would get the sweep over AOIFE. So we have one of our 2 finalists locked in here as TSTORM will play for the first Classic Tetris Quickly Championship. And now TSTORM will get a chance to rest and see who he'll get to play. As Anpu and Tyler now fight it out here. And maybe a little bit of an anti-pace game early on from these two. This is 64,000 and 51,000 respectively for these 2 players, so seeming like RNG maybe not the best here early on. Yes, AOIFE is not new. She's been here for a spicy second. TSTORM saying known her since 2022, definitely by 2023. Tiger said known her since 2004. Fair enough, Tiger. Chen saying TSTORM's roll arc will be legendary. TSTORM as a roller is a scary thought. TSTORM as a tapper is already a scary thought. Like when I first saw TSTORM playing, I thought he was a roller already, and then when I found out that he's just a tapper, like, insanity. Absolute insanity. Alright, so TSTORM and AOIFE will get a chance to rest here as we await the fates of Tyler and Anpu. And looks like both of them are starting to find a bit more scoring here down the stretch. About halfway through 18 speeds here. It's 177 for Anpu, 232 for Tyler. Three saying it's a shame we didn't get TSTORM in Tap Masters. I didn't even. Yeah, no, you got a point there. You got a point there, Threes. That would have been an interesting one. But to be fair, I would say that the folks we did get in Tap Masters, pretty fun bunch, and I won't spoil it for those who haven't been keeping up with the bracket, but it's definitely been some highlight reel matches. I always like to think in my head, you know, what would have happened if rolling had never found its way onto the scene? Would players like Joseph have continued to dominate, rack up a couple more titles? I think Alex T still ends up finding his way to an eventual championship. But it would be interesting to see how the landscape would be altered. Would DAS still be able to hold up against Tap on its own? Does make you wonder. But we got the good timeline, or at least I think the good timeline. Where we got to see the game get absolutely broken, and all expectations and reality shattered. Alex T would own. I could certainly believe it. Alright, closing in on transition here. It's 381 for Anpu, 472 for Tyler. So Tyler trying to force the decider here. Anpu trying to close this one out and avoid giving TSTORM any more rest time than he's already gotten. Which, hey, as a tapper, that extra rest time, certainly a nice feeling. Alright, both players are now into 19. Nice setup by Tyler, who ends up finding his way to a column 3 Tetris before transitioning back to the standard right well. Anpu in his standard right well Tetris here. Tyler holding about a 70,000 point lead at the moment, but both players are clean, both players stacking, both players trying to do their best to score here. It has perhaps not been the most favorable seed RNG-wise. Both players have survived and endured. Who will outlast the other here? And who can be a bit more efficient in the process? Right now both players playing pretty efficiently here. So far, so good here. Tyler making some very nice placements here. Trying to keep the board from getting overcomplicated. Anpu with a very smooth, very streamlined stack here, but both players continuing to find ways to set up for Tetrises. And, oh, there's a nice square placement by Tyler, who gets a little J-tuck beneath it. Needs a bar down the middle of the stack. But bar not coming right now for either player. This could turn into an issue. Okay, bar does eventually come. Both players' boards getting complicated. Anpu's board is not going to be survivable, and that bar took a bit too long to come for Anpu as he tops out at 733. And Tyler, already ahead with 812, has done enough to indeed force us to a decider. F on the board. Even in the process of topping out, Anpu still letting Tyler know how he feels. FI. Well, at least he didn't get a J piece to put next to the I. Then the I would have been a U. Write your seat on the board challenge. Please don't. And here we go. Even though Tyler is a at least a 1.2 player, you know, got to flex here with the max out. Because I assume that's what he's aiming for here. That's right, we're going to a decider. Hell yeah. $9.99. Got it. There we go. Alright, so Tyler ends up getting his way to the max out here. So while he's finishing out the Mullen, we're going to quickly switch out to the... Haven't made a kill screen run in a while, sorry. It's okay, Tyler. I somehow get the feeling that you're going to need to make one here. It's just a hunch I have. Then again, maybe I've already jinxed us by saying that. There's only one way to find out, folks. And that's by playing the game. So both players are ready. We will count it down. 5 countdown for the 5 cider. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Yep, that's right, folks. Get your patented deciders out. A good one. Now you might be wondering to yourself, have these two ever faced off before? That is an excellent question, which I do not have the answer to. But luckily for us, the database people have blessed us with the ability for me to look up past matches between people. Or, if I can get them to load properly. Well, I'll figure it out eventually. Alright. Early on here, we've got 145,000 points from Anpu, 205,000 from Tyler. So both players off to good starts here. Hey, here we go. So it looks like, according to the history books here, these two have faced off 9 times before. And overall, Anpu has won 7 of the 9 times here against Tyler, so that's what history would tell us. The most recent time they faced off was this past March on Classic Tetris Arcadian number 13, where Tyler actually won 2-1. For those who don't know, a lot of the Arcadian matches end up being a best of 3 early on because of the way it's formatted. Tyler also beat Anpu in CTL Season 25. That was back in Div 4. But can Tyler defeat the ungodly stacking job he's got to get out of here? My goodness. I can never look away for more than 10 seconds without all hell breaking loose. Okay, and Tyler is somehow managing to find his way out of this. He's got 280,000 at the moment. Anpu's got 314,000. So it is a pretty close one here between these two as it stands. Bro was row 18. What do you want me to tell you, Threes? The roller privilege is alive and well in 2025. Tyler uncooked his stack. How do you like your steak, folks? Uncooked? Decooked? Why deep fry when you can defry? Apparently, I don't know. What do you want me to tell you, folks? So Tyler is a bit ahead in line count here. Although considering his ability to play into 29, line count difference might not make huge impact. But then again, even the crazy 29 runs are not a guarantee. There are no guarantees in the world of Tetris. If there's anything I've learned in the over 5 years of playing this game, and over a year of restreaming it, there are no guarantees in Tetris. But there is a guarantee that we are about 15 to 25 lines away from transition. The first transition, anyway. Right now, Anpu holding about a 70,000 point lead here over Tyler. We'll see if he can hold his own on the 19 speeds, though. Hello to Deck, who says Tyler's calling RNG his baby girl, and I hate it so much. I hate the fact that you wrote that sentence, Deck, and then I proceeded to read it. I really need to to double check things that are being typed in the chat before I voice them aloud. I'm blaming all of you, deck. But most of all, I'm blaming myself. Alright, both players are into 19 speeds here. It's 513 for Tyler, 585 for Anpu. Tyler's board getting a little bit high here as he tries to find a way to get the well reopened, but just gets a bunch of S and Z pieces instead. That's not the way to get the well reopened. Oh my goodness. We saw him do some crazy 18 digs. Now he'll have to do the same on 19, because something's got to give here. Oh my word. Surely he can't do it again. Surely he can't find a way. And yet, we keep going. 537 for Tyler, 608 for Anpu, and now Anpu running to Aspire, and I don't know if Anpu can survive this. Oh no, Anpu does not survive, topping out at 609. Well, this is not free by any means, but Tyler gets a Tetris to bring the board down. Gets another Tetris. He needs 610 though, so... Okay, that'll do it. Oh, dear God, it's going to be the bronze champion and the silver champion from this past CTWC to face in our finals. Oh my God, how does that even happen? Tyler had to make 2 absurd digs to pull that off, and he found both of them. Like, oh, we have Sunny here. Hi, Sunny. How's it going? Okay, so let's just give me a quick second here as we're just gonna once again make a quick adjustment here and put AOIFE down on our bottom scene. And Tyler up on the top. So there we go. So, well, right now I have to change the nameplates too, so give me one sec. For TSTORM and Tyler, I'm gonna give your seed first. So your seed will be the one with a 6E. For Anpu and AOIFE, I'm assuming you are happy to play out the 3rd place match. At least for the sake of completion. I feel like you should. So assuming so. Right. Yes, that's the spirit, AOIFE. That's the passion I like to see. Alright, 89 then will be the seed for you and Anpu. Let me... Oop, nope. Still... So give me a quick second here to fix the nameplates. There we go. And then let me also erase all of our hearts. And then we'll give our 4 players a second to get ready. So... we got 3 of the 4 readies, so Tyler, go and get ready. I'm saying we're doing a 3rd place match. Yeah, I think it's fitting. After all, you signed up with the anticipation of doing 1 qual and 2 comp matches, so even though neither you nor AOIFE got to win your 1st comp match, I feel like we still have to give you the 2nd one. And hey, 3rd place is still bragging rights. You got to fight for something here, in my opinion. If any other reason, it's an excuse to play more Tetris. Don't let TSTORM and Tyler have all the fun. Storming so bad I might lose power. Tyler, don't be making excuses on me here, Tyler. But no, it's okay. We'll figure it out. Just connect the lightning rod directly to Wi-Fi router. Thank you, Penguin Panic. Okay, we got 4 readies. Let's do a 4 countdown. Here we go. Best of luck to our players. Let's have some fun, Tetris. Starting it off in 4, 3, 2, 1. It's Tetris. Fulgora reference. Oh my god. All right. SPS confirmed on both ends. Anpu has the Factorio knowledge. Hey, someone has to. Alright, so here we go. So, full clarification here. Our top match is the championship match here between the CTWC Bronze Champion and the CTWC Silver Champion. 2 of 3 men to not lose at CTWC this year. Don't worry about that 3rd guy. And then the bottom matchup between Anpu and AOIFE. It's the battle of the A usernames, it's the battle of the T usernames. Which is ironic when I put it that way, because our 3rd CTWC champion is someone who has a name that begins with an A but ends with a T. It's like symmetry, you know, it rhymes. Scripted says 3's 2. Well, what is this true script here, 3's 2? I mean, again, I think all of the different combinations of these matchups would be entertaining to see. And in theory, we got 4 of the 6 combinations of matchups. Maybe one day we'll get that, you know, TSTORM versus Anpu or Tyler versus AOIFE matchup. But this maybe does answer a hypothetical that has been on many players' minds. What would have happened if TSTORM had made it into the silver bracket? Could he have been the person who could have stopped Tyler? We'll find out. We're right here, right now. Alright, so far on our matchups, we're actually going to look at the bottom matchup first here. Is both AOIFE and Anpu running into a little bit of traffic on their stacks here, but managing to keep it in a safe spot here, or at least trying to do so. 278 for AOIFE currently, 243 for Anpu. So very nice scores to have here, just under halfway, 318. Up top, it is currently 244 for TSTORM, 287 for Tyler. Also about halfway, 318. So everyone running very nice paces here on game 1. This is not like the RNG of the last pair of game 1s. Everyone making do for the moment here. Oh, AOIFE's board getting high, but she did manage to keep the well open long enough to get the bar for the Tetris. Always makes me a bit uncomfortable whenever I see rollers in high situations. I know that they can usually survive it, but it's still nerve-wracking, because you know it all takes is one missed input, one missed timing, and everything falls apart. Alright, but everyone's still holding up well for the time being. TSTORM just deciding to play one off the bottom here. He's still getting the Tetrises, though. Actually, that might have been 2 off the bottom. Either way. And, ooh, board's starting to complicate a bit more here for TSTORM. Let's see how he decides to find his way out of this dig that he's in. somehow creates a dirty Tetris opportunity and the double skim. Oh my goodness. Brilliant stacking here from the Tetris life coach. Or actually, no, wait. Life Tetris coach? You know what I mean. Do I know what I mean, though? That's an entirely different question. Right, currently about a 100,000 point lead here for Tyler, and about a 70,000 point lead for Anpu as we prepare to enter the 19 speeds here. So here we go. TSTORM and AOIFE will have some catching up to do here on the faster speeds. Let's see what will happen to Whomst. Tyler trying to not take another awkward board into 19. We've already seen a couple of transitions throw him off balance today, and oh no. That might very well be what happens here. He does hit a nice T-spin, but I don't think there's a way for him to go into 19 cleanly here, so he's just going to have to go into it. But this is survivable, certainly. Just needs the right pieces here, and is maybe not getting the best pieces, but he's making it work. So I think Tyler's going to be okay here. And yes, does get the well reopen, gets the Tetris. Actually, now TSTORM run into a little bit of an issue, but gets his well reopen. Now just needing a bar. There's the bar, Tetris, TSTORM. 562 up top for TSTORM, 644 for Tyler. Meanwhile, down below, 679 for Anpu, 549 for AOIFE. So again, Anpu and Tyler both maintaining their pretty potent leads here. So far, so good for everybody. Tyler still running into some problems here as he just cannot find a way to get into a Tetris-ready state. And that's going to give TSTORM a chance to catch up if the bars arrive, and there's one for TSTORM at least. So he's starting to close the gap here. But Tyler does get his board cleaned up. Anpu and AOIFE also had some cleanup to do, but keeping their boards pretty steady for the most part. And AOIFE now starting to catch up to Anpu's score here a little bit. Right now she's running into some issues here. So is Anpu. And Anpu's issues a bit more magnified as the DAS player here. He's much more limited in how he can dig out of 19, and he cannot dig out of this one. So Anpu tops out at 702, which means AOIFE, you need to get to 703. Meanwhile, up top, it's 702 for TSTORM currently, 775 for Tyler. So Tyler still in control here by a couple of Tetrises. And just continuing to Tetris away here. So all TSTORM can do is just wait for an opportunity, but Tyler has not been providing that one. Meanwhile, AOIFE did win her first game here, and is going to take a minute to, quote, placate dog, her dog, not the Tetris player. Thank you for specifying. Oh, dear God. Alright, so Tyler running into some problems on his board here. That's allowed TSTORM to close the scoring gap immensely. And actually, TSTORM Tetrising into the lead here. Tyler still does not have a way to get this cleaned up. It's 9:33 for Tyler right now, 9:41 for TSTORM. TSTORM's got time for no more Tetrises, actually. He goes into 29. Alive for the moment, though, and oh my God, he's clearing some lines here. Might be able to clear enough to get to level 30. He wants a square, I think, doesn't get it. 985 is the top out from TSTORM. Tyler trying to hold out for a Tetris. Can't get a bar over. It wouldn't have only been a triple anyway. But Tyler tops out at 950, and TSTORM doing barely enough here. But he does take game one. Are you kidding me? What a start from these two. Both take it to 29. Unfortunately, Tyler couldn't keep the board low enough to try and get a 29 chase down, and so TSTORM comes away with one here. we'll wait a second for AOIFE to come back so we can start everyone off on game 2. So let's give a quick moment here. Alright, looks like AOIFE is back. So we'll get everyone counted down here in a moment. Alright, we got 4 readies. Let's do a 4 countdown. Best of luck to everybody here. And let's start off game number 2 in 4, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to assume that nothing too interesting is going to happen on the 18 stretch here, and I would already be wrong because Tyler is doing some form of a stack here. I'll let Deck decipher what's going on with Tyler's board right now, because I don't... Oh, okay, never mind. He's just going to turn it into a dirty Tetris. That's... Oh. Well, he's still alive. Okay, there's the dirty Tetris. Yep, that was... Those were certainly stacking decisions. But as our players go through the early stretch, I'm still afraid to look away here. Okay, nice T-spin there from Tyler. You know, I'm just going to have confidence that all of our players will be okay here while I read off some more numbers, because I'm math whiz. I have to read off numbers here. Alright, so if you're wondering if AOIFE and Anpu have ever faced off against each other before, the answer to that would be no. At least not that I could find in the database. So to my knowledge, this is their first time ever battling it out here in a competitive setting. Albeit a non-ELO one, but hey, take what you can get. Okay, that was insane Vits there from Tyler, who's ends up setting up and getting the dirty center well Tetris. Thank God Kingsman's not watching this. He would have some choice words for this entire stuff. Oh my God. And now Tyler casually flirting with death, but finds a bar in time for another dirty center well Tetris. And the S-spin for good measure. Yep, this is... Oh my goodness. Always the showman here, folks. That's Tyler for you, folks. Alright, let's give some score updates here. On our top match, we've got 196 from Tyler, 247 from TSTORM. So this time TSTORM running the lead of a couple of Tetrises, although... all things considered, actually impressive that Tyler keeping it this close despite the absolute chaos of a stack he's been working with this game. On the bottom matchup, 351 for Anpu, 310 for AOIFE. So AOIFE having a strong showing here. Anpu is playing insane here. Perhaps Lackenzie's comment about Anpu being one of the more underrated DAS players was a well-placed comment. As we go into the second half of 18, we will ask the burning question here. What is the history between Tyler and TSTORM? Have they ever faced off in a Tetris setting before? And to that, the answer is not that I'm aware of, or not that the database is aware of. So that's actually insane. So there you go. 2 first-time matchups according to this. Chen saying the greed. To an extent, Chen, you could argue the greed is necessary here, as TSTORM is continuing to keep a pretty efficient game here, and so Tyler's just doing what he can to try and match that efficiency, even if it involves getting Tetris off now column 9. Tyler having the fight of his life here as he tries to win one of the most unique trophies ever. And he's trying to do it by playing column bingo here. What a guy, folks. What a guy. It is currently 461 from TSTORM, 348 from Tyler, as they both are about to enter the 19 stretches here. Oh, okay, never mind. I stand corrected. Tyler is not going to enter the 19 stretches. He tops out at 349. So TSTORM, you are good on the second game. Meanwhile, down below, Anpu at 551, AOIFE at 485. So, barring any disasters here, it looks like Anpu is indeed going to get that 600k transition into 19. Yep, there you go. He's got the 600k here. And one last Tetris. TSTORM saying he has played Tyler, but only in CTW. Well, there you go. You're gonna have to tell the database people to incorporate CTW into these then, 'cause I don't have that info. Chen saying to Tyler, we have the exact same phone. Okay. That's a thing. 616 for AOIFE, 679 for Anpu. We'll keep an eye on those two on their 19 stretch, but first we will count down game 3 between TSTORM and Tyler. Maybe the last game. Let's find out. Starting off in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Alright, so here we go. As TSTORM and Tyler kick things off here, AOIFE and Anpu deep into a 19 battle here. 733 for Anpu, 774 for AOIFE. So AOIFE's not only caught up, she's taken the lead for the time being. As she tries to outmuscle Anpu here on the 19 stretches. But Anpu fighting back here as he sets up and gets the Tetris, and then gets another one. And he is playing this one out as best as he can here. Now going center well. Nice Tetris there from Anpu. 832, AOIFE 896, and she's just countering every Tetris of Anpu's with one of her own. And then some, it seems. And I think Anpu knows what he's going to have to do to try and stop this. Tetris again from Anpu here. He's up to 900k. AOIFE waiting out for a bar here. Game not quickly giving one. She does get a nice triple here. That's enough to put her into the max out range. AO8 from AOIFE, 937 Anpu. Oh my word. Tetris for Anpu. He's now one away from the max out here. AOIFE up to now a B13. And considering Anpu is a DAS player here, I don't think this is anywhere close to the realm of possibility. And just nothing Anpu can do here. He'll take the Tetris. He'll take a couple burns. Almost got to level 30 there. A60 ends up being the top ad though for Anpu, and AOIFE, you can play this one out, of course. Alright, meanwhile, up top here, it's 332 for TSTORM. Halfway at 318 speeds, 226 for Tyler. So again, this is obviously must-win territory here for Tyler, but he is not making this easy on himself here. Then again, maybe it never was easy playing TSTORM. But don't count him out yet, folks, as Tyler might still have some magic in him. Also, it's casual 1.2 for AOIFE on level 33. As a reminder to the audience at home, her PB is 1,284,000, so that was... she still got it, folks. She still got it. My god. Alright, so we'll give AOIFE her second heart here, as both our matches now at 2-0. Maybe the Quickly in Classic Tetris Quickly still has yet to hit here. Alright, we do have ready for Anpu and AOIFE for game number 3, so we'll count them down here in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Alright, we are about 20 lines away here from transition into 19 speeds, where it's currently 327 for Tyler, 586 from TSTORM. Wow. So Tyler will have some work to do here on 19 speeds. Might be the understatement of the night here, but you know. What can you do, folks? What can you do? Meanwhile, both Anpu and AOIFE have the 69,000 points early on, so there's another hey now for Omen. Alright, looks like TSTORM will try and get a left wheel Tetris into 19 here. Nope, just has to play the safe burns, but still a 639 into 19 for TSTORM. Oh my god, and now TSTORM. I think he might be too high up though, and he's not going to be able to survive this. Oh, the left wheel setup ends up burning TSTORM. And he tops out at 641, so Tyler, you've got a target. You got to get to 642. 642 is your target, Tyler. And this one might not be over yet, folks. And I think Tyler has just realized what has happened here. I don't think he was expecting that. But yeah, 642 is your target, Tyler. Well said, Sonny. Well said. Alright, meanwhile, early on, 214 for Anpu here. 189 from AOIFE. AOIFE with a bit of a high board here. This could prove to be problematic, but she is taking some nice burns here to solve the board. And she's gonna quickly get out of this one, it looks like. So nice survival here from AOIFE. But meanwhile, 642 again is the target for Tyler, so has obviously tons of time to make this happen. Does not need to go aggro here. Does not need to push his luck. He's going to push his luck anyway. Ah, well, Tetris went off the bottom. There we go. Tyler has at least avoided the sweep. Has he begun the path to a reverse sweep, though? We'll find out. Tyler saying, Biggest lightning of all time. Whole house shook and flashed. TSTORM is manifesting himself in your reality, Tyler, just so he can smite you down. If he can't beat you in the game, he's gonna beat you in real life, Tyler. Wait, don't take that one out of context. Let's start game 4. No, Penguin, no. All right. Here we go for game 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Oh my god. Anywho. Back to our bottom match. Tyler living is more important than Tetris. I think some would tell you threes that statement is debatable. Like, the show must go on. I don't think you understand here, threes. Alright, 395 here for Anpu currently, 446 for AOIFE. So let's not forget this is must-win territory here for Anpu. As he tries to stay alive in the race for the bronze medal here, which, hey, bronze medal is still a medal. I'm just putting it out there, you know. Sunny saying, surprised Penguin even knows what TikTok is. He's still asking Jeeves. Oh, dear God. Look, Sunny, Penguin, if you two want to jab at each other this much, find 2 other people and become the participants for the second classic Tetris quickly. Like you can fight with words, but you might as well fight with the controller at that point. Just saying. Alright. 146 from TSTORM early on, 143 from Tyler, so similar starts from those two, but now we keep our attention on that bottom match as both AOIFE and Anpu enter 19 speeds, and AOIFE with about a 1 Tetris lead over Anpu for the moment. So here we go. What will it take to defeat the Tetris veteran here? As if that'd be remotely fair, says Sunny. I didn't say it would be fair. I just said it would be entertaining. At no point did I ever claim that anything we were doing here was fair. An attempt at balance, sure, but fairness? Who knows? Oh, these pieces may be being unfair to AOIFE here, though she's still surviving? Maybe? No, I don't think she can get anything over to the left, so AOIFE ends up topping out at 677, which means Anpu, you're going to have a chase down target, and that target is 678. Meanwhile, TSTORM with just the casual delayed vits here, gets the vits. Ooh, but missing on one of his piece placements here. So Anpu completes the short chase down here and stays alive in this one. Anpu and AOIFE immediately ready for game 4, so we'll just count them off here in 4, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. So there we go, folks. Both of our matches get to a game 4 here. We'll either get to a game 5, and I suspect we are going to get the answer to, or half of the answer to that right now, as TSTORM gets into a high 18 dig. He does not survive. And so guess what, Tyler? You're going to a decider with TSTORM. aggressively mid 1.1 players? Good question, Threes. Good question. My computer better not causing me to lose inputs again. Console matter. Oh my god. TSTORM, do you need a moment to check your technology? Because I'll give you a moment if you need it. Emu's illegal. Call the cops on Threes. Oh, poor Threes. I get so many people complain about controller issues. I think the true issue is that all of us play this game too much. If I'm being honest. But then again, how can you stop playing when it's this good of a game? How can you stop watching? It's this good of the matches. Threes Elk Penguin Lettuce. That would be a fun matchup. That would be fun. But oh no! Oh my god! AOIFE ends up topping out at 129,000. I was not expecting that, needless to say. And so everyone's going to a decider. All right. Well, I guess we'll just count down everyone. Let's we'll give a quick moment here. But what are the odds, folks? Four players, all with 2 wins apiece, all looking for the 3rd win. So here we go. It all comes down to this. It's been just over 2 hours since we officially started the Classic Tetris Quickly Tournament #1, and it's going to end right here on these 2 games. Who takes 1st place, who takes 3rd, and who takes everything else. Here we go. We'll count down one more time for our 4 players in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So regardless of whatever is about to happen here, since this is the final game, I'm going to take the early stretch here as an opportunity to give some thanks here. First and foremost, perhaps, I want to say thanks to the players here for showing up and participating in this, and for helping to playtest this new format of a Tetris event. Thanks to our audience for supporting watching this new format of a Tetris event. Again, if you do like it, we'd love to see more folks coming into the arena here in groups of 4 and battling it out here in these 2-hour blocks. This would certainly be an interesting series to see bloom. He might be asleep at this point, but thanks to Mazer, of course, for all of his work here in establishing the Classic Tetris Network. His prior work, of course, with the Peace Dependency podcast, and just being an all-around amazing person, so... Mazer, I'm grateful for you to give me the opportunity to join the network here, and try and help to continue to make an impact here in the Tetris community. Also, yes, Tyler, I did see that dig you got out of. That was absolutely insane. I was almost afraid to say anything during it. Early scores here, 169 for TSTORM so far. There's another hey now. 157 for Tyler. Down below, 159 for Anpu. 170 for AOIFE. So everyone basically on pace with each other here. Thanks, Mazer. I appreciate that, Mazer. Alright, yeah, so thanks aside here we go, folks. for better or worse, for dramatic or anticlimactic, one way or another, we must reach a conclusion here. Who will get the right of saying that they were the first winner of a Tetris tournament done at above average speed? Right now, all of our players doing a nice job of surviving here. Anpu going to set up for the column 3 Tetris, gets one. He's up to 327, AOIFE at 314. Meanwhile, on our other matchup here, TSTORM will get the well reopen, gets a bar for a Tetris. But Tyler finds some Tetrises of his own. It's 346 for TSTORM, 388 for Tyler. My goodness, everyone just continuing to trade off Tetrises with each other. Right now, all 4 of our players are within 50,000 points of each other. It's 2 separate matches here, 4 individual entities, but they are all playing as one pacing mindset. So, here we go. It's been just over 2 hours since they officially started playing Tetris here. What did they got left in the tank? What does RNG have left in store for them? We'll see how it treats them on the 19 stretch in just a little bit here, as we are about to close into 19. Tyler and TSTORM remain within a Tetris of each other. AOIFE and Anpu also remaining within a Tetris of each other. So here we go. It might as well be a 4-way tie for all intents and purposes, because this is anyone's game and anyone's match to win across both of our matches here. Alright, Tyler and TSTORM will be the first 2 into 19 speeds. 541 for Tyler, 524 for TSTORM. Tyler does get the well open in time here, gets a bar for the Tetris. That's going to help to bring the stack down. TSTORM also trying to keep his stack on the low side here. Gets a bar dependency filled in. Now Anpu entering 19 speeds. Adds a couple of Tetrises. 555 for Anpu. AOIFE takes one more Tetris into 19. She's got 503 for the moment. This is still incredibly close here between everyone. But everyone playing clean for the most part here. Everyone doing their best to build up for Tetrises. Who will be the first to falter? Who will be the first to make a critical error? Your guess is as good as mine here. Ooh, now Tyler's board is getting a bit complicated. And oh my goodness, he tries to set up for dirty Tetris. Somehow hits a T-spin. I don't even know what he spun there. He still has the dirty Tetris set. Oh no, but TSTORM ends up topping out. Are you kidding me? Tyler hits the dirty Tetris, but he's already won. It's over. TSTORM has topped out at 637. Tyler already at 697. And you can take your victory lap here, Tyler, as we will now keep our attention on the bottom match. We're at 727 for Anpu, 714 for AOIFE. AOIFE stack getting a bit high here, but bar arrives in time for her. Bar arrives in time for Anpu as well. Oh my goodness, these two continuing to push each other here. Oh, that was an insane dirty left well there from Tyler. Tyler truly enjoying his victory lap right now. Alright, 822 from Anpu, 865 from AOIFE. Oh no, but Anpu getting stuck up on the board here. He tops out at 822. And now AOIFE, you're going to get to take your victory lap. And so there we go, folks. The final placements are made here. Anpu will finish 4th here on the first edition of Classic Tetris Quickly, after losing out to 2 different rollers in deciders. AOIFE will finish 3rd here after getting swept by TSTORM, then holding her own here against Anpu. TSTORM finishes 2nd after pulling a sweep on the first match here, but then getting reverse swept on the 2nd match. And Tyler, also known as Tetris, he pulls the double deciders here. He won the silver bracket. He wins the first edition of Classic Tetris Quickly. And his final score ends up being an 848 here on this last game. Hello, Danny J. Who says, of course, yeah, Tetris. And AOIFE casually getting another max out here. We'll see how far she takes this game as well. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that. Thank you for being you, really, because it was truly entertaining. There we go, 850 from AOIFE. What a performance here by everybody. I think all 4 of our players have truly shown just the level of entertainment you can have in Tetris. They represented all the different play styles here, had all the different paths and stories and accolades coming into this matchups, but they all played to the best of their ability, and gosh darn, 3 of our 4 comp matches ended up going to deciders. Like, you can't ask for much more, folks. Yes, a 2-hour Tetris tournament plus however much time we lost to the Tyler Mullins. There you go, folks. That's a Classic Tetris tournament done quickly. That's Classic Tetris Quickly. Exactly, Anpu. You made it to the semifinals of the first Classic Tetris Quickly tournament. Somebody in your chat this whole time? Well, I don't know what to tell you. Alright. But congrats again to Tyler, of course, for being our victor here, but kudos to all 4 players, as I would not say that anyone had a weak performance tonight. Everyone's showing why they are Tetris experts, Tetris professionals. Who will our next group of 4 be to duel for the Quickly title? We'll find out on a future episode of this, but in the meantime, that is going to do it for today's edition of Classic Tetris Quickly. So thank you all again for joining. My name is MathWiz. So glad to have you all here. Now, let's go watch another event involving multiple people. Go say hi to Wars for me. And as always, folks, even though this is not my usual channel, I'm still going to say it. Stay classy.